Greetings, family. Greetings, friends. Greetings, entrepreneurs. Greetings, people that have chosen to take your life to a whole nother level. This is Martin Christopher Glenn, Martin Glenn, Chris Glenn, president, uh, co-founder, along with my wife of Masternomics. And Masternomics is a institute of learning. It's a school of learning, uh, business, personal development, professional development. What we do is we focus on shifting and creating the mindset of business owners. We are in a world that is full of chaos, disruption, a lot of negativity, and we see that as an opportunity to teach people. We see what people see as bad things or bad situations, we see them as teachable moments. So I'm a teacher. I'm an educator in the meaning of the word, from the Greek root of the word educator, which comes from educato, which means to draw out. So when I teach, I draw something out of you. It's a spiritual connection, right? And though we're talking about business, we're not talking about business as the way we were miseducated in the education system. A lot of us have been miseducated in the education system. Miseducated purposely. We've been programmed, we've been indoctrinated with what people say people say is economics and what people say is business. Business is about an exchange, it's a relationship. And we talk about the relationship from human to human, right? And so, in order to have good relationships and to do good exchanging with money, right, you have to have a good relationship with yourself first. So, we're going to tackle something that a lot of people talk about. A lot of people use the term self-made, right? But what does it mean to be self-made? So we're going to talk about being self-made, the negative perception or connotation that comes with that term self-made, which is really the false one. And we're going to talk about the real deal self-made, what it means to be self-made. We're going to discuss, why some people can produce large amounts of money here in the physical world, what we can see, why some people can't produce it, right? And we talk about this term self-made. We've heard the term self-made millionaire, things like that, right? So let's deal with that. So when we're talking about self-made, and here at Masternomics, what we do is we break things down to the root. We like to get to the essence. We like to get the real meaning of things, right? Because part of the problem with society and with entrepreneurs is the people that is teaching you about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs solve problems. All right. So entrepreneurs are not just people that want to get rich just to get rich, right? We take care of problems and issues. And for you, that might be a personal issue. That might be issues in your family, right? So we deal with the root of things. So we're talking about self-made. Self-made is not a lot of what you see on social media where you see people, they might have stacks of money and they're showing you money and they say, I got this on my own, right? I did this. Nobody helped me get this. I got this on my own out the mud by myself, right? That's a certain mentality that really doesn't help develop people. See, I help develop people. I help develop business owners. I take people that haven't made any money in the business and I teach them how to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars in your business, I show you how to turn it into millions. Not with just flim flam saying stuff that don't make sense. I'm talking about real techniques of what I did. A person that had no money, right? But what I had was a lot of willpower to make large sums of money, but more importantly, I wanted to help other people make money, right? So you hear people say, I'm self-made, I got it on my own. Nobody didn't help me. My mama didn't help me, my daddy didn't help me, my brother didn't help me, nobody helped me. I got this on my own. Well, when you hear people talk from that perspective, they're not truly grasping what it means to be self-made. Why? Because money comes from people, right? You're in business, so somebody patronizes the business. It's an exchange, right? And before it's a physical exchange with what we call money, it's an emotional, it's a mental, it's a spiritual exchange with people, right? to get them to give you some energy. We call that energy money. That's all it is. Money is just energy. If I give you good energy, then you're gonna give me some dollars. You're gonna give me good energy back, and if I say if I have a product, you're gonna give me that same energy in the form of a dollar bill or money or whatever currency you're dealing with on the planet Earth. Whatever country you're in, whatever your currency is, I'm gonna give you some energy, which is value, and it's gonna affect you positively, and you're gonna give me a good current or currency back, right? And then I produce wealth in different forms. Okay? So you don't get anything on your own. When people say I got it on my own, that's not true. Okay? Everybody is a product of something. All of the thoughts you have, you got them from somebody, right? So everyone has had other people that have affected their psyche and their thinking. So if someone says, I created this business on my own, well, you got the idea from somebody. You had a mentor, right? And you had to study something. If you're reading books, men wrote the books, okay? So there's no one that just got it on their own. You didn't get here by yourself, right? You got here through the conscious efforts of other people. Whether you like them or not, if you like your mother and father or not, you would not be here without them, right? So everything is in relation to something else. So it's getting that understanding first. So when people say, I got it on my own, no. What that does, it makes people think that some people are just miraculously better than other people. Oh, he just got it on his own. No, what this man or woman did to create large amounts of wealth, they mastered self. All right. So to be self-made is not just you got a lot of money and nobody helped you. You was on the block corner, whatever, social media, and you just got money on your own. No, we get money through the connection of people, right? So everyone, the people that are massively successful or what you call self-made, they really grasp this and understand this. But because of the social media age that we live in, people see stuff and we got clickbait. We see people and they got stacks of money and we say, they're some special guy. No, they're just people that learn about self, study self. The massively successful people you're hearing about, the multi-hundred millionaires and billionaires, they're tapped into something. And we want to get into that. We want to get into what is self-made, right? What does it truly mean to be self-made? There's a quote from George Adams. This quote says, there's no such thing as a self-made man. We are made up of thousands of others. Everyone who has ever done a kind deed for us or spoken one word of encouragement to us has entered into the makeup of our character and our thoughts as well as our success. Just think about that. See, that's a higher understanding and a higher reality. Everyone that you have come in contact with, what you call good or bad, has all helped create and develop the person that you are today. Right? So he said, everyone who has ever done a kind deed for us or spoken one word of encouragement to us has entered into the makeup of our character. All these things help make who you are. Whoever you are, wherever you're at in the world right now, right? Whoever you are, the people, your mother, your father, your teachers, your pastors, your preachers, your friends, your haters, your lovers, your people, the men and women you're in relationship with, all these people help develop and create your character, okay, who you are, right? So what you call self is a composition of thoughts and behaviors, right? And the key is thoughts. Where are these thoughts coming from, right? And more importantly, what is the self to you? What is your self-image of yourself? Okay, because to be self-made, you have to have a good self-image of you. Can you be successful? Do you see yourself as successful? I'm talking to you. right? I'm talking to you, the person that clicked on here and said, I'm going to watch this video. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, the person that's complaining about bills, about life, the person that's wondering, what business should I start? Should I stay in the business? I'm talking to you. What is your image of yourself? Because that is going to determine if you make it or not, and you become a made man or woman. Made, and we're talking about in this world of this physical wealth that we all want on some level, right? So self-made. There's no such thing as a self-made man. We're made up of thousands of others. Everyone who has ever done a kind deed for us or spoken one word of encouragement to us has entered into the makeup and the character of our thoughts as well as our success. Grasp that reality. You're a composition of all the people. I don't care if it's the person when you was down and you picked up the phone and they gave you some encouraging words and you kept on and you got the job or you started the business, right? All of those people help make you. And to be successful, one of the first things you have to learn to do is have gratitude. So this false image of being self-made that makes people think I just did it. This egotistical way of looking at self-made it corrupts you because it doesn't make you give gratitude, right? So I'm thankful for all my mentors. I'm thankful for every person, every book that I wrote, that a man wrote or a woman wrote. I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for my mother. I'm thankful for my father. I'm thankful for all my friends. I'm thankful for the people that didn't believe in me, right? Because they helped me push harder, right? I'm thankful for my haters, right? So we give thanks to your interest into self and being self-made is to give gratitude, right? Give thanks to God. Give thanks to the universe. Give thanks to however you identify source energy, God, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Yahuwah, right? It's all source energy, so give thanks. Give thanks for everything that you got, right? Self, because all of that help make you, okay? All of it help create the person that you are today. um, so self-made, they'll say, rich and successful as a result of your own work and not because of money from your family. A self-made businessman, entrepreneur, millionaire, right? This is a definition. You can Google it and you're going to get this definition. Rich and successful as a result of your own work, not because of money from your family, right? That's one view though, because think about it. Some families, some mothers and fathers didn't have the money to give you, but what they did was, as the quote said before, they helped develop your character, right? Because before you can really get money, you have to have a certain character. You have to be teachable or coachable, okay? So this definition isn't totally true. It's not absolute because it says self-made, rich and successful as a result of your own work, not because of money from your family. But wealth is produced with more than just physical money. It's character. This is where mentors come in to help you develop yourself to become self-made. Because if we talk about all these great millionaires and billionaires that they talk about, this 1% of people, Warren Buffett's of the world, right? What you'll find when you talk to them is a lot of them have character and they had mentors, right? Now, somebody might not give you money, but I could give you some advice and some information that will ignite you and inspire you, and it'll be way better than me giving you money. Thus, you heard the saying, if I give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if I teach him how to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. That information right there is worth more than $1 million because you could take that information and you can make, forget $1 million, you can make 100 million or $1 billion, right? So it's the information that helps develop you and develop your character, right? It's not just about the money if you're going to be self-made, self. Hold that in your mind. We're talking about self, right? Self. My computer's acting up on me. I apologize. So, self-made. One who has achieved wealth or success by one's own efforts. Here's another definition. Okay? One who has achieved wealth or success by one's own efforts, right? This is probably what your concept of what self-made was prior to logging on here to this class, right? And in some aspects, this is true. One who has achieved wealth or success by one's own efforts. But now, if I was to really ask you, is this absolute truth? Because whatever you have achieved in life to date, wherever your business is, wherever your life is, right? Did you get there on your own? No. You didn't just get there on your own, right? You got there from some form of a collective, all right? And people say, well, I had to leave this environment, I had to do this or that. What they gave you, you knew it wasn't good enough to get where you wanted to be. So it still affected you, okay? And if you have a company, your company exists because of not just your efforts, the efforts of everyone else in the company. So when we talked last week, we talked about the mastermind concept, and that's getting people to see your vision, getting them what they want so they buy into the vision and you start moving as one unit, right? So when you think about massively successful people and businesses, right, there's not just your effort, it's the efforts of others, right? You think about, if anybody, you study history, archaeology in the world, and you think about the Great Giza Pyramid. When they say, well, King or Pharaoh or Ferti Khufu built the pyramid. Well, I mean, you see what a pyramid is. You really think one man really went out there and built it, right? Well, he was the one that overseed it. His name is attached to it, but it was the conscious efforts of others, right, that allowed the pyramid to be built. So when you're hearing about a company, Amazon, right? Well, Jeff Bezos, well, he created Amazon. Well, he might came up with the concept, but he got probably the best CEOs and managers in the world, and it employs, I don't know, thousands of people, right, to keep the company going. But they'll say, well, he's self-made. Well, he's the person that gets the credit. But if you talk to him one-on-one, he's going to give you a whole nother story. And the story is not really selfish. He's going to tell you about his wife. He's going to tell you about his partners. He's going to tell you about the friends that believe in him. He's going to tell you about his mentors. He's going to tell you about the books that he studied. What do these things do? They develop self. They develop him. You got to develop yourself. This is the true meaning of to be self-made, right? So it's not just what they're telling you, one who has achieved wealth or success by one's own efforts. The way you achieve wealth, massive wealth, is the concentrated efforts of not just you, but other people, right? So what are some key characteristics of these millionaires, billionaires, and successful people? Key character traits of self-made millionaires, right? Look at this closely. Risk tolerant. What does that really mean? To be risk tolerant, right? You understand when you go into business, there's going to be risk. So people that achieve massive success, they understand there's risk and they learn how to tolerate risk. How do you really tolerate risk? You tolerate risk by doing your homework, right? By planning, strategizing, those five P's that say poor performance prevents, proper planning prevents poor performance. All them P's get me tongue tied sometimes, right? But, right. So the way you become risk tolerant is by being prepared, right? Because what's the saying? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So whatever you're doing, whatever the business that you're in, right? If you're prepared, then it's really less risky. So I always tell people, I don't believe in chance or luck, right? I stay prepared. And if you're prepared, then when the opportunity comes, it's success, right? There's opportunity and there's preparation. It's only an opportunity for the people that are prepared. And if you're prepared, that's the ingredients of success. Opportunity and preparation, right? So, I don't gamble, but I do take calculated risks. So when you go into business or you make investments, there is a risk factor. There's a chance you could lose your money. But the more homework and research you're done and the more conscious effort you put in and study, what? It's not really risk. It becomes a calculated risk, right? It's a risk, but you have calculated, right, the risk factor or the loss factor, right? So the successful people have this trait of being risk tolerant. Next, they're open-minded. If you're going to be successful in business, you got to be open-minded, right? Why do you need to be open-minded? Because that's understanding you don't have it all figured out. So let's get rid of the myths that they gave you about being self-made. Some guy who's just a little brainiac and a mastermind, he got it all figured out. That's not true, right? You got to be open-minded to listen to the ideas of others. Listen to the critiques of others. You know, some of the best is constructive criticism. It's good to be criticized. A weakness is when you're afraid of being criticized. Some people might be criticizing me right now where you're watching this. That's fine. You know, tell me what you don't like. It doesn't offend me. It just makes me better. You see, I look at it all as an opportunity. So to be open-minded, right? One of the things that helped me develop and be more open-minded was listening to my wife. You know, when I was getting minimal results in the eyes of people, yeah, I was successful, but it was minimal success. When I started receiving massive success and, you know, an overflow of success was when I opened my mind. I said, you know what? I need to listen to somebody else. I need her eyes on this. I need her thoughts, her ideas, right? Then our company started going to another level. Our investment started taking off. I was open-minded. If you want to be massively successful, you want to be self-made, you got to be open-minded and realize it's not all just about the ego self, right? It's about the self internal. Emotionally stable. That's so important. That's so important. You got to have a check on your emotions. You can't be too high. You can't be too low, right? You can't be an extremist. You can't be so easily offended, right? You got to be able to take criticism from other people and it not just, you know, set you off, right? You can't be a tyrant, right? Some people, when they, you know, in their companies, they got the wrong idea of a boss. And it's this false idea of a boss. Somebody just rules with an iron fist. It's my way or that's it. I'm the boss, right? If you ever look at some of those people, they don't stay in their positions long. Anybody that rules or leads like that is emotionally unstable because they're so heavily, they need their ego stroked so much, right, that they're emotionally unstable. Somebody says something they don't like, it hurts them so bad. They take things personal, right? So key character traits of self-made millionaires are, these are three things. There's more than this now, but these are three things we had time to talk about today. Right. And everything I talk about and I teach about, do your research. Go deeper. That's why I say go watch some of the other videos, you know, that's on the Masternomics on our YouTube channel because we put out a lot of the free information. Go watch, go back and look at a lot of these and they'll start tying things together for you. Okay? So self-made. Here at Masternomics, we understand that to be self-made is rooted in self-mastery. It's rooted in self-mastery. Okay? Self-mastery is a understanding of yourself and mastering yourself. See, we want to master everything outside of us, but we don't master nothing on the inside of us. We want to control everything you really can't control, and those are the things on the outside of you, but you don't want to control what's on the inside of you. You want to control another person, your wife, your girlfriend, husband, whatever, in a relationship. You want to control them, but you can't control yourself. So the real way to get people to move and do what you want and to get to things that you want out of life is to control what you can control, and that's you. So it's all about self-mastery. So to be self-made is rooted in self-mastery. Now we're about to get into the reality of things. We had to touch on the surface of what they show you, right? But this is why entrepreneurs are getting into business and they're going out of business, because they're not at the root of what is going to make you make money over a period of time, the root of what is going to keep your company together, and that's real self-mastery, right? It's not about this junk they're telling you about being self-made. People, you just being social media and you got money and you're renting fake cars and you living a false life. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, no, we're talking about what's real, and that's going on the inside. Okay, so we deal with the higher understanding. This is our definition of self-made, right? And it's a person who has used their internal spiritual and mental faculties to effectively leverage any and everything to produce wealth, spiritually and materially, using the laws of the universe, regardless of situation or circumstance. I'm going to read that again. I want to say it again. I want to put it out there again. Okay. A person who has used their internal spiritual and mental faculties. Let's stop right there. You do know you have spiritual gifts on the inside. You do know that you have mental faculties, right? Higher mental senses outside of see, hear, touch, taste, smell, outside of those 5 senses that they try to just keep you focused on. You have higher senses, right? So it's a person who has used these higher senses, all right? A person who has used their internal spiritual and mental faculties to effectively leverage any and everything. What does that mean? Whatever. You're using your mind, you're using your spirit to leverage whatever you got. That's why I always say, what do I always say? What you have is enough. See, they make you think you don't got enough. I don't got enough money to do this. I don't have enough. You got something that they can't hold, and that's willpower and an imagination. All right. So a person who has used their internal spiritual and mental faculties to effectively leverage any and everything to produce wealth spiritually and materially, using the laws of the universe, regardless of situation or circumstance. What does that mean? Regardless of where you live, regardless of if you didn't have a daddy, regardless if your daddy was in prison, regardless if you had a mama on crack, regardless if you never knew your mama and you was raised in a foster home, regardless of you had parents that love you but they didn't know nothing about money, so you didn't do that, regardless of you was raised and you didn't have any spiritual values or principles, regardless of any situation, regardless of whatever country you live in, right? If you utilize your internal spiritual and mental faculties to effectively leverage everything that you have access to produce wealth, you are self-made, right? Why do we say regardless of the situation or circumstances? Because some of us live in countries all over the world, right? Everybody doesn't live in the United States, so we got all these different conveniences, right? But when you see about millionaires and billionaires, they're produced out of some of the poorest countries on the planet. And when you talk to those people, you'll find that they have those traits that we talked about. You'll find that they're into self-mastery. Okay? So what are these higher mental faculties? Intuition, memory, perception, reason, imagination, will. These are higher mental faculties. They only want you focusing on see, hear, touch, taste, and smell, 5 senses. Those 5 senses will keep you trapped because they all focus on touch and you seeing something. But to create and to manifest, to create the life that you want, you got to see it in their head first. You got to have a vision, right? You got to use some intuition. You got to use the memory of those experiences you had. You got to have perception. You got to perceive things, reason, imagination, and the will, right? Go back and watch some of the other videos that we have on our YouTube channel about these higher senses, the higher mental faculties, right? This is the key to self-mastery. You using these. Guess what? This don't cost you no money to develop your intuitive skills, your memory, your perception, your reason, your imagination, right? This is something that they say is God given. It's in you, right? So you was born with unlimited power. So you was really born wealthy, right? This is a gift that you have from God, from the higher source. It's inside you. This is the key to being self-made. All right. It ain't about your mama or your daddy leaving you some money, this or that, right? Because you got the ability to create it. Now, do we want to leave for our kids? Definitely. But more than the money and the houses and the land, leaving them that, we want to leave this knowledge in their head. Because I can leave you all the money and all the land, but I don't leave the proper skills and the knowledge and information of how to maintain that and attain more. Whatever I left you will be gone. All right. So self mastery. A composition of the human self is thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Right. So that's why I said you are a composition of your thoughts, your emotion, and your behavior patterns, and that comes from your environment and the people and the information that's going into you. So that's why you gotta consciously develop yourself. You have to consciously develop the self. Be self-made, self-mastery. Consciously be reading things of that's going to take you to a higher level of understanding, right? This is what you are. This makes up you. Thoughts, emotions, and behaviors makes up you, right? You didn't get anything on your own. You see what I'm saying? Now you put in the effort, but you utilize whatever you had around you. Okay? Self-mastery, self-made, self-mastery. To be self-made, self, soul, spirit, you. You got to work on you, right? When you go into business and you want to be successful, make sure it's something you love to do, right? Your business is for you. It's for yourself. It's not for me, right? Success is personal. It got to be something that's going to push you, right? Self-made. So when I say I'm a self-made millionaire, I don't mean I got it all on by myself, right? You're never gonna hear Martin Luther say, "Man, I got this all on my own. I'm self-made." When you hear me say self-made, you know what I'm talking about. That self is that internal aspect, right? It's the using those gifts. It's the self-mastery that help make me and what I have, right? If you work on your business and you start from an internal aspect, your business is gonna flourish far more because your character is gonna be developed, right? And if your character is developed, it's going to become contagious to the people all around you, right? It's like electromagnetic. It's magnetized. You're a magnetic being, and you're going to attract all of the things that you want through your actions, your inspired action, right? A person who has used their internal, spiritual, and mental faculties to effectively leverage any and everything to produce wealth spiritually and materially using the laws of the universe, regardless of situation or circumstance. So I don't care how bad you're doing. I don't care how challenged you are, right? Financially. I don't care how challenged you are physically, if you're sick, right? You have the ability to tap in to unlimited force, unlimited power, right? That connects all of us. And if you're going to be successful in business, you got to work on yourself. You got to give them back their concepts, give them back their weak concepts of what being self made is, and say, I am a collection of the thoughts and the people that I allow into my psyche. Stop allowing negative people to come into your world because they're creating the self, they're creating you. And a lot of us are projecting other people's weak thoughts and fears and their dislikes. We just accepting them and we put them out to the world, right? So that's a system, and we're duplicating a negative system that's plaguing the planet Earth, right? We have the power and the ability to create our reality. This is what your business should do. It should transform you. It should change your family. It should change everyone around you, right? Be self-made. Master yourself. Make the person that you want to be. Get a great image of yourself. Study yourself. Study these videos, these classes, these lessons, right? Help me to help everybody, help the planet by putting out positive information that's going to help us transform, that's going to help us create sustainable sources of income, create businesses, right? This is what this is about. This is what Masternomics is about. You know, like, subscribe to the channel, share the information. This is transformational information. We need this in the world. We need people to learn about their finances and how they affect every aspect of our society, right? We're the caretakers of this planet. And having a sound mind and being spiritually connected, we can create businesses that will transform our lives and everybody that we come in contact with. We're the creators of society. So this is how we teach entrepreneurship from an internal aspect, so you can sustain whatever it is that you want to do. And you won't just survive, you'll thrive. Thank you. I love you. Like, subscribe, share Masternomics. Until we meet again, peace.